So in today's video, we're going to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's and Dead by Daylight licensing. Scott Cawthon himself has seemed a bit more forward with partnerships as well as working with Blumhouse. The landscape of the FNAF licensing is changing right now, as Blumhouse could now partially own the rights to specific versions of the characters in the franchise. Matthew Lillard, who played Springtrap in the movie, spoke towards the impact the character has had on his career.
It's nice at this juncture in my life to start a franchise in my early 50s that hopefully will take me through the next 10 years of my life, yeah, it's just nice to have that in a career.
Hey everyone, it's Schmuckles. Today we're going to talk about the updated licensing status of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise and really take a deep dive as to whether or not we actually think Five Nights at Freddy's could potentially be licensed into Dead by Daylight in the near future. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to follow this situation. I'm also live on Twitch right now streaming Dead by Daylight, link for that in the description below. Back in 2021, Scott Cawthon said that there were no collabs that were currently planned. That status seems to kind of be ever changing. It seems like so much has happened in the licensing space with Five Nights at Freddy's, and that's even since the last time we talked about FNAF, which was actually not too long ago. There's been a lot of licensing stuff that's been happening in the FNAF space, even down to the Blumhouse version of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. People are really getting hopeful that some of their Five Nights at Freddy's dream collaborations could be right around the corner, and something like a Dead by Daylight chapter is definitely under this umbrella. The last time that we covered explicitly Five Nights at Freddy's was in this video right here, and we talked about how through FNAF's licensing agent Striker Entertainment, Five Nights at Freddy's and Scott Cawthon were doing licensing and marketing initiatives to prepare for the 10-year anniversary for FNAF. And we actually got a glimpse into what some of that stuff could potentially entail via some of the leaks that have been happening in the FNAF franchise. FNAF Dev accidentally releases Dead by Daylight inspired Roblox spin-off early. This was in December 21st of 2023. This was crazy news that actually dropped on December 20th, 2023. Five Nights at Freddy's Survival Crew has launched on Roblox. It's the first official FNAF game on the platform. Striker Entertainment, a licensing agent for FNAF, has released an advertisement for FNAF Survival Crew on Instagram. This confirms that the Roblox title is official. So late last year, there was a beta version of the FNAF Survival Crew released on Roblox, and you can actually tell by the copyright down here that this is actually officially licensed through Scott Cawthon. This is something that Scott and the FNAF franchise were officially working on behind the scenes. And as it turns out, this is actually completely by mistake. This was actually not supposed to be launched this early. This was some sort of beta, unfinished, unpolished version of the game because it was actually leaked too early. Scott posted this on Reddit. He said, "Hey everyone, I wish I could visit on better terms more often. What a screwed up day, bear with me. Yes, there's an official Roblox game being worked on. I'm actually a big Roblox fan and play it a lot with my kids. But the fact that this was released today is one of the most baffling, insane things that's ever happened to me in my 10 years of working on FNAF." So he goes on to say that there is a huge misunderstanding and he just approved a skin and somebody interpreted this behind the scenes as release the game. So the game got taken down immediately after it was released, and this is actually an action that Scott himself performed. But we know for a fact that Scott said that there are licensing and marketing initiatives being taken behind the scenes to prepare for the 10-year anniversary for FNAF. And the fact that this thing was so underdeveloped, this could be one of the things under that umbrella. It's going to be a huge 10-year anniversary event this summer for Five Nights at Freddy's. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about potential leaks. There's that potential anniversary chapter for Dead by Daylight Vecna leak. This is something that's unconfirmed and we're not 100% sure if it's true. But to be honest, if the anniversary for Dead by Daylight is actually confirmed to be licensed, I think Vecna and Springtrap kind of have to be the front runners for this anniversary. There's just been so much licensing happening behind the scenes for Five Nights at Freddy's, and it seems like the 10-year anniversary could actually be just a bunch of crazy collaborations that we've been waiting for Five Nights at Freddy's. And we know that Dead by Daylight kind of stacks amongst one of the most wanted collaborations amongst all of the possible FNAF collabs. U2's has actually teased an upcoming figure of the Yellow Rabbit from Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's. The FNAF movie wave will include 4 to 5 figures, with Mike and Doug already confirmed. And this actually here was just U2's responding to someone on Twitter under one of their tweets that was not Five Nights at Freddy's related. Someone responded to one of the tweets not related to FNAF and said, "What about Yellow Rabbit, please?" U2 said, "You are wretched, rotten little beast. I made you." And of course, this is a quote from Matthew Lillard in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So this is actually teasing the Yellow Rabbit from FNAF Blumhouse version.
I read the movie, and the night before, in the meeting, I read the movie, and the movie was great, except for I was like, I didn't have a lot of part. I mean, it was like Yellow Rabbit is the character, and it was at the end of the movie. And so I sat down with Emma, and I'm like, why me? There's not a lot to do here. And she explained, and the reason I think I ended up doing it was that this character is like the Voldemort character in Harry Potter. and that he is the center of evil in the universe.
There's also been the first look at U2's upcoming pin set based on Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's, and in the most recent past, U2's has revealed a new design for their upcoming Springtrap plush. This is actually something that they just released on TikTok. There really is so much going on behind the scenes for this franchise. FNAF 2 is actually confirmed in development right now.
You know, I'm hoping to find other elements in the movies. Hopefully they make more movies. One would assume they would. But I hope to find more opportunities for him to be out of the Springtrap costume, but we'll see.
On January 8th of this year, Josh Hutcherson said, "I know they're in the process right now of nailing down the story, and they want to get it going as soon as possible."
For me, the only thing I want to explore are the things that make sense for the fan base, for Scott, for the storytelling. I mean, frankly, our job in that movie is to deliver lore, right? So much of the game is like fans have for so long filled in the blanks. And our job is to fill in where we can and what Scott and Emma thinks appropriate. So for me, only thing I care about is that we're doing something that the fans want, that they'll be excited to see.
And for the 2024 New Year's, Daco said this in a recent video.
Happy New Year, guys. Here's to 2024. A toast to the 10th anniversary of FNAF next year, which is crazy. 2024, 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's. I wonder if we're going to get anything crazy. We'll have to wait and see, but it's super exciting.
Scott actually invited Daco to the set of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie before anyone knew anything about the movie and the project. Scott trusted him to record behind the scenes footage that could potentially spoil the movie and trusted Daco to post that footage after the movie was released. So what I'm getting at here is there could be other stuff behind the scenes that Daco knows about that he's not sharing too, because Scott has trusted him with information and to not spoil things. So if we were to get some sort of huge Five Nights at Freddy's Dead by Daylight collaboration, that'd kind of be the cherry on top of all of this going on behind the scenes. Apparently there is a new Five Nights at Freddy's game based on the Fazbear Frights Into the Pit, seemingly in development and coming soon. So you can tell here that this is actually a Scholastic magazine that's being released. It's going to be released on August 6th of this year, so it actually hasn't been released yet. There are some images here showing some of the content that's in this coloring book. And right here it says Into the Pit, new game coming soon. All of these things could be related to the 10-year anniversary for Five Nights at Freddy's. And it almost seems guaranteed that there's going to be stuff that we don't know about that's going to surprise us as well. We're getting little glimpses into what's coming for the 10-year anniversary. And although I don't think Five Nights at Freddy's is necessarily the frontrunner for the anniversary chapter for Dead by Daylight, I definitely think it's something that's worth discussing right now, because it seems like we might be at a crossroads right now at the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. We're seeing all these big preps for their 10-year anniversary. We're seeing collaborations which we've never really seen before from this franchise. We have seen some collaborations in the past from Scott. I don't think we've ever seen Scott license the FNAF property into a different game, which we're seeing with Roblox. Since this Roblox game was supposed to be a spin-off inspired by Dead by Daylight, would that work for or against a FNAF-DBD collaboration? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. We're going to follow all of the licensing situations very closely, so make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to be up to date on all of the news in the licensing space in regards to Dead by Daylight collaborations. I'm also live on Twitch right now streaming Dead by Daylight, link for that in the description below. That does it for this video. Goodbye.